Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran, and today I'm going to be doing a video on twin flame sex. Okay, I don't really know if there's a better way to put that. Twin flame making love, twin flame anal. I'm not too sure. I'll let you guys decide what sounds best in your head. But for now, we're just going to go with the working title, twin flame sex, and we'll hope that that resonates with you guys. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about the details of what that looks like, but I am going to talk about the feelings involved of having sex, being intimate with your twin flame. What that's supposed to feel like, what sex really has to do with being a spiritually awakened being, and how sex really does shape your energy, your life, and how it's important, and some of the do's and don'ts along with that. Okay, so that's what today's good video is going to be about. It's pretty much all just going to be about sex. So if you're into that stuff and you're kind of horny, then maybe watch this video and it might help you out. Okay, so getting into it, right? We'll start with the very basics, okay, of sex and really what it means, okay, before we start getting into the actual twin flame sex. So sex as a method of connection, right? An intimate physical connection with somebody else. Anytime you go into that, anytime you perform that act, you become sexually intimate with another person, you are sharing their energy. You are sharing your energy. There is energy being mixed together in a sort of cocktail, and sometimes that can be very good. But if you've ever had sex with a narcissist or somebody very toxic for your relationship, your energy will become drained. They almost act as a succubus, in which they quite literally drain the energy from you through the physical act of sex. Okay? Speaking as somebody who has had sex with narcissists, you are left feeling drained afterwards. I was left feeling drained. That the energy, the passion that I had for life was funneled into one area, a physical act, and then it was taken away from me in my daily life. And sex, in that instance, with what we would call karmic partners or narcissists, or however you really want to label that, there is going to, all that sex is really, it really serves a purpose of draining your energy, stealing away your life force, and really lowering your vibration. That sex becomes addictive, codependent, wanting to merge with the other person. Those signs, those feelings, those kinds of those pulls, those kind of almost primal, almost disgusting in a sense, urges that seem to come from nowhere. Those are the feelings you get with people like that, with those situations, right? And any time that you have sex with anyone, regardless of the label, they might be an okay person, one night stand that you have out on the town, you'll find that your energy is being shared with those people, and you're getting their energy as well. And so all that really means is that the more people that you have sex with, the more you have sex with somebody that's really not on your level or not resonant with you, you are taking on their karma. You're taking on their wounds. Right now, it might be small. It might really not affect your life too much, but if you're not aware of it, if you're sort of asleep, and this is kind of how the world is, people don't understand that they actually are affected by the people that they're sleeping with, right? The people that you're actually intimate with. This is true of the same people that you're even coming into close contact with, that are within your own energy field, up to like 3 or 4 feet of you, right? These people drain your energy. So imagine what it would do to you by actually having sex with somebody else, right? If you're an empath or you identify with that kind of label, and people drain your energy by just being around you, if that like bothers you, toxic coworkers, things like that, and you feel just drained, imagine what having sex with somebody else does. Of course, we don't think about it because we're horny, right? And we get that over with, and then maybe the repercussions of that we can deal with later. But the physical act is an energy exchange. It's what happens, right? So getting into what twin flame sex is all about, what that intimacy is really trying to help you understand is what love, what intimacy is really all about. It's not about a sense of addiction or codependency. It's not about wanting to escape into the other person. Okay? Twin flame sex is a freeing, liberating experience. Speaking honestly from my past, just in the way that I perceive sex growing up as a young man raised by Catholic influences, narcissistic, toxic parents who treated pleasure of any form as a shameful experience. I grew up with a fear of intimacy, a fear of sex, a fear of pleasure, self-pleasure, a feel of feeling good. All this grew up with so many ideas of fear, and any time that I was intimate with people in my past before becoming awakened and going on this journey, it was it was it was always an experience that felt like I was doing something wrong. Okay, and there's some of that biologically for men, but which is just the act of after completion. There's a biological component to that, but I'm not going to get into that. But emotionally, I would always feel like I was doing something wrong, and I couldn't feel free. It always felt like I had issues with my body, what I was doing, if I was good enough. Always thinking in my head, not feeling with my heart and my actual body, and being in the now moment. I was always in my mind, and so growing up with those influences, and then transitioning into intimacy with the twin flame, which can also be transcribed over into intimacy with a true love connection. What happens and what I felt and what I experienced was a liberation of myself. It was immediately met by tears, because all of the pent up issues, guilt, shame around intimacy, sex, they were all released within the first few experiences of intimacy with my twin flame, and it was beautiful. It's still, it's an incredible experience, because what sex with a twin flame is it's healing. It's not addictive. It's not codependent. If you feel like you want to escape into the other person, like you want to merge with them, I promise you that is not twin flame. That is not how twin flame sex is supposed to be. That is not just passion, okay? Passion is not codependent, okay? People have this idea that passion it's a justification for the relationship. But if a relationship just has passion, it's going to be very hard to tell where love starts and where love ends, and if it's really there at all. Because passion is a physical manifestation of desire enacted out into the physical world. If that's all you have, then it's easy for that to be drained if you're doing it with the wrong person. And of course, if you have your own issues, you'll never be able to tell. But twin flame sex, intimacy with a twin flame or true love partner, soulmate, it is freeing, liberating, healing. It heals your wounds. It heals how you think of yourself around sex, and how you think of your own body and your own mental body in the physical act itself. Twin flame sex is liberating. It is more than a physical. The physical aspects of it feel incredibly well put together. As in, what I mean by that is that it fits like a puzzle piece, right? That the sex is it's not a merging. It's not like you're trying to just blend together like against all odds. It's a merging. It's like a partnership. It literally just, they fit. They come together. They kind of come together and they fit. It's like that yin and the yang. They just get together, and as a result of that, it's an emotional connection that feels very warm and peaceful. It takes you out of your head. It brings you into the physical body, but there's a spiritual connection to it that elevates you in the process. It is an experience of lightheartedness. And sex in a modern society, and truthfully throughout history, has always been presented as an immoral, disgusting, destructive act that always competed with the natural desire and urge to have sex. So throughout history, we've always had this sort of this disillusion around sex and intimacy. On one hand, it's shameful. You're supposed to feel guilty. You can't want it. You can't talk about it. On the other hand, you have this natural desire to do so. Biological, emotional, spiritual. It's there. You want to do it. So with twin flames and other higher based spiritual relationships, the sex becomes healing, becomes free, it becomes natural. And natural, to me, my definition of natural is something is something that is pure, something that can't be twisted, something that is untwistable, something that doesn't have that there isn't any other strings attached to it. It is just there and it exists in the fullest form that it can. Right? The earth, forests, trees, they're natural. They're not out there judging you. There's no reflection. You go into nature, you're free. You're free to be yourself. You can take off the mask. You can live and exist in a pure sense. And that's what natural is to me. It's pure. And the sex with the higher base spiritual connections, it's pure. It heals you. Twin flame sex fundamentally takes what is wrong with you, your mental perceptions around it, and it brings it up to the surface to be released through laughing, joy, right? So if you, like myself, if you had issues around sex that were more guilty and you couldn't fully let yourself enjoy it because you're wondering, well, you're doing something wrong, what happens, and what happened to me, is that you actually end up laughing. You feel like all of this energy kind of escape up from your heart, and you end up laughing, like hysterically for long periods of time. And other times you cry, breaking down other emotional barriers, right? And anything in between. It's a cathartic experience. And what happens is afterwards you feel lighter as a being. You feel more attractive. You feel like the spark inside you is a little bit more illuminated, a little bit more luminous. It is brighter. You can do more, accomplish more. Sex with a higher based being, spiritual connection, I mean, is always going to leave you feeling more fulfilled, a deeper fulfillment of peace. It isn't about just having the best sex ever. It's not even really the best sex ever. It kind of comes across like that, but the idea of sex with twin flames, soulmates, these higher connections, is that it's not that the other person is some kind of god at sex. It's about having a connection that fits perfectly for the two individuals. And as that fits together, your needs are taken care of in ways that you never really understood. Because when you just have a physical connection with a one-night stand, you're only looking at a physical connection. Okay? Then if you're like me throughout my life, I wanted a physical connection, but I also wanted an emotional connection. I found it too weird and awkward to try and be intimate with people I didn't know. But then I would go after the wrong people that weren't really emotionally, that I couldn't really get together because I wouldn't let myself be open, and I didn't particularly find myself very, I didn't really respect the other person in some way. So there was always a dissonance, but twin flame sex, higher base spiritual connections, that the intimacy is complete understanding. There's no need for words. It just kind of flows together. It comes into this natural pattern of like a rhythm of a wave on the ocean. It's just beautiful in every sense of the word. Okay, it doesn't mean that there isn't issues that need to be talked about or sexual. We all have things that sometimes we don't want to do this, X, Y, and Z. We all have different pasts, right? Twin flame sex, it's going to heal all of those anyway. It heals you into your natural sexual rhythm, into your natural ideas of sex, into what you're really supposed to be thinking about that for you. And sex is supposed to be a freeing experience, a loving experience, a beautiful experience. It's not supposed to leave you feeling toxic, drained, escaped. It's not supposed to leave you feeling like you've done something wrong, like you've done something horrible. And of course, in a pattern way. There might be times where you accidentally do something during romance that that the other person doesn't like, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a repeated pattern of codependent negative energy, of feeling low self-worth. If you're having sex with someone and it's been a couple months since you're having sex with them and you feel worse, that's not a healthy connection. That's not where the love, it's not getting in there, okay? But with twin flame sex, the love is the first foundation, and so everything springs from love, Right? It springs from spirit, it springs from source, and it goes from here into this knot, and it spreads outward into the emotional, mental, and the physical body. But it starts with love, and it's the most authentic type of intimacy you can ever get with this idea of love. And so for twin flames, that is what sex feels like. It is a freeing experience where you don't really need words. It's more than emotional. It's more than physical. It's a blend of all of it. It's a blend of all of it together in one cocktail that doesn't need explaining. It is just a puzzle piece that fits. And the result of that, again, is an experience of lightheartedness, of where you feel lighter as a person, and it will always be healing for you rather than destructive and codependent like some of the relationships that I have been in the past. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, comments, things like that, drop it down below. Otherwise, I'm going to end the video here, and I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. All right? Okay, guys, bye. Thanks so much for watching.